Yellowstone latest, a 100-foot wide fissure-crack, has opened south of Yellowstone near Grand Teton. An emergency closure has taken place. Tourists are no longer allowed to visit there. Fissure opens overnight near Yellowstone volcano. Teton village is just south of there. Grand Teton National Park has closed the Hidden Falls, an inspiration point tourist attractions, because of concerns that a fissuring rock wall could pose a danger. Grand Teton is near the Yellowstone supervolcano. It's just south of there. It's the second largest volcano on Earth. There's a bigger one. Well, I would venture to say that again is in the United States, Wawa Springs. And you'll see later on in the video the size of that compared to Yellowstone. So concerns are now being raised that the Yellowstone volcanic system may be preparing to emit lava in similar ways that Kilauea volcano has been doing in Hawaii for over 2 months now. Except that there's a big difference between Yellowstone and Kilauea. Yellowstone is 2,000 times bigger than Kilauea. National Park Service spokesman Denise German says growing cracks and fissures were observed in the large buttress above Hidden Falls. She says yesterday, exhume guides noticed cracks in the rocks. Teton Park spokeswoman Denise German said they communicated that to the rangers this morning, and when they went to investigate, they realized it had actually gotten bigger and it expanded, end quote. So that's, as we know, very bad news. German tells the Jackson Hole News and Guide that the crack is about 100 feet, that is 30 meters long, and runs horizontally along a rock wall that has at least 100 feet tall. Quote, the whole area is prone to geological activity, but this was a very notable difference, she said. The notable changes in the rock over the past 24 hours, this is like a 100-foot crack we're talking in one day. One day, 100 feet cracked. The notable changes, as she said, in the rock over the past 24 hours spurred park rangers to implement a temporary closure and initiate a risk assessment with subject matter experts, in other words, geologists of USGS. It's hard to conceptualize the sheer size of the Yellowstone volcano system. The caldera, the mouth of the volcano, is a whopping 213 miles around. The underground magma system, which feeds that gigantic mouth, runs countless miles farther in many directions. Yellowstone National Park, which is northeast of Grand Teton National Park, contains some of the most fascinating geological wonders of the world. For instance, geysers that hurl steam and water hundreds of feet into the air on a regular basis. One of these geysers is called, as we know, Old Faithful. It's a steamboat geyser that is very active and very unusual lately. But one of the most well-known is, as we said, Old Faithful, and it erupts with steams and water several times a day. It's a much larger nearby geyser. The largest known geyser in the world, as we know, is the Steamboat Geyser. In the past 2 months, activity at the Steamboat Geyser has increased very noticeably. There have been 11 steam and water eruptions from a steamboat in the last 2 months. Prior to that, there were only 11 eruptions in the past almost 30 years, 28 years to be exact. So clearly, there's something now taking place with the Yellowstone volcanic system. It's becoming more active, and they cannot hide the fact that it's becoming more active in a geological manner. Unofficially, the reasonable person can come to a very obvious conclusion about what all the activity is leading to. If that is a correct conclusion, life in the entire United States, let alone the Northern Hemisphere and the world, could be sudden and dramatic and altered in a very bad way. Now, concerning the Steamboat Geyser of Yellowstone National Park, It's the world's tallest currently active geyser, as we said, and during major eruptions, water may be thrown more than 300 feet into the air. Steamboat's major eruption lasts for about 3 to 40 minutes and are followed by powerful jets of steam. Steamboat does not erupt on a predictable schedule, with recorded intervals between major eruptions ranging from anywhere from 4 days to 50 years. Now, what we've seen lately from the Wikipedia, I'll leave a link below for you, the most recent eruption of Steamboat Geyser occurred July 6th at 1:35 p.m. This is, of course, it could be older. It could be an old publication, old article. While years may pass between eruptions, some years see multiple eruptions, including 29 in the year 1964. Eruptions from 1990 to current years include, as we said, 1990, June 4th, October the 2nd, 1991, and we go on. And there was an 8-year interval, a 1-year interval, a 140-day interval. But coming to the year 2018, and erupted in the year 2014 before that, Steamboat Geyser entered a much more active period with 11 eruptions recorded between March 15th and July 6th. That's 3.5 months. March 15th, it was 3.5 years before that it had to erupt. Then we had April 19th, April 27th, May 4, May 13, May 19, May 27, June 4th, June 11, June 15, and July 6th. This is the first eruption since the June-July 2018 disturbance of the Norris Geyser Basin. Steamboat Geyser has 2 vents, a northern and the southern vent, approximately 5 meters apart, 15 feet, well, about 15 feet apart. But a few months ago, we had another scare concerning Yellowstone. A major tectonic shift detected sparking fears of eruption. A major tectonic shift beneath the Yellowstone supervolcano has been detected, sparking fears of a massive eruption that could cause widespread devastation across not only the United States, but across the whole planet. So fears surrounding the Hawaii volcano eruptions led to increased focus on the activity of United States supervolcano Yellowstone. The increased activity above and below the surface at the U.S. supervolcano set off alarm bells for those who are monitoring the site for a potential eruption. Multiple earthquakes at the national park, followed by a 4th eruption of its unusual dormant geyser, has led to speculation about the world's largest supervolcano. The supervolcano sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is responsible for earthquakes and volcanic activity along the Pacific coast, most recently including Hawaii and Indonesia. The Steamboat Geyser, which was dormant since September of 2014, suddenly erupted March 15th, April 19th, April 27th, and May 4th. According to Fox News, a swarm of more than 200 earthquakes struck Yellowstone over 2 weeks, which indicates a shifting of the major tectonic plates between the Earth's surface. A Fox reporter said 2 out of the 3 warning signs of an imminent eruption has caused panic among visitors to the site. Those warning signs include seismic activity increase, ground deformation, and an increased gas outlet at the surface. While seismic activity in gas outlet has been increasing during 2018, this has not been a significant extent to and without any sign of ground deformation. Seismologists admit that an eruption could cause mass destruction, but experts at the National Earthquake Information Center in Golden have played down fears. USGS seismologist Harley Benz, who monitors that site in Yellowstone, says locals would have plenty of warning time, and she says it could be several weeks or months before it erupted, after the warning has been given, that is. It would just get more and more intense in terms of seismic activity, So if it's going into an eruptive phase, we would likely know way ahead of time. The increasing activity also set off fears for the 800-mile chain of 13 volcanoes nearby on the west coast in California. Liz Westby, a geologist at the USGS Cascades Volcano Observatory, said, quote, "There's a lot of anxiety out there. They see destruction and people get nervous," end quote. Michael Poland, who is head scientist at the USGS in Yellowstone, the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory in Washington State, said a major quake was not on its way. He said people tend to focus on the possibility of a huge eruption. When they do happen, they're going to shake a region pretty severely, so people should be prepared for that, end quote. When the supervolcano next erupts, the expected consequences will see ash devastate the majority of the United States, according to Live Science and to USGS, of course. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.